All right, good morning, traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar with Bruce. I'll be your host here. We'll go through any market you guys want to take a look at that we can connect to. Your host and go through the order flow, how to read it, how to integrate reading live order flow into your trading. Risk disclosure or general disclosure, all Bookmap Ltd materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a look. We typically start with the S&P E-mini and take a look and see what's going on in here. Let me know if there's anything else that you want to take a look at. Good morning, Alois and Rob, and everyone over also in Discord. Good morning. Well, some interesting iceberg readings this morning and some stops on the way down here. And here's this dynamic between larger players using iceberg orders in here versus smaller players like us, retail traders, that use stops. And now that's an assumption in here, but we see the stop runs that unfold, and we know it's people getting stopped out. It's got to be. Some might be entering the market with a buy or sell stop. True. We don't know that element. We just know that it is a transaction of a stop. That is true. Same with the icebergs. We know that buy or sell icebergs are transacting. That much we know. And we can see that dynamic in here. All right, so it looks like a lot of icebergs buying in here. Let's use our crosshairs in here. In this little area to the downside, a little bit of a lull. 930, a lot more. Pullbacks in here, and a lot more right now. So, and look at this strong move in here. So we're looking for buyers right now here and lifting it right up into 76 and a quarter. Maybe the high here of the cash session at 78, or maybe a little higher here at 80. Okay, because the liquidity is up here. The bid looks pretty strong. Getting some buyers in here. It is a pullback after a strong move here. And let's see if we can get these buyers to lift this higher here. Okay, and we also have some icebergs in here. All right. Now, so we have some things going on in here. Now let's also dig in a little bit deeper though. Let's look at the order book and the volume in here and understand what's going on. All right. So the volume here, everything changes at 9:30 at the cash open, and the volume really picks up. Let's compare relatively this move here as well as the volume within it compared to this move here and the selling within. Okay, so and we can make that comparison directly. In fact, why don't we start a little bit before 9:30 here where this move started, and we'll select that area here and we'll put it into the viewable range in here. We can look at the order book and volume imbalances in here. And what is telling us in here. So we're looking for, one to be in control or the other to be in control. And what is it telling us in here? Like slightly buyers have a 1% kind of edge over sellers, or there's a little bit more buying than there is selling here. And that's it. So not much, right? The assumption was that, wow, pretty strong move here on the buy side. We see kind of an equal amount in here. So that said, and now that we've kind of looked at it, we can still look for buyers up here and the move higher. But when we really start to understand the volume in here, then it becomes a little bit more apparent. If there was stronger buying and then lesser selling here, and we get the buying up here again, it is more probable that we will get the break to the upside, right? So just by understanding the volume and this relationship in here, we're still looking for it here, just because this looks like, this is a pretty strong move to the upside here, and the move here to the downside is not as strong. So market-wise, structurally, we still see some buying coming back in here. So we look for these buyers to try to lift it. The one thing that now that we've looked at in a little bit more detail about who's in control and who's not, is it more likely to unfold? Okay, well, it's less likely, right? We're still looking for it. We see the bid is here beneath the market. That's good. Our buyers are coming in. It's looking pretty good that we should get the break to the upside here. But what I'm trying to go through here is assess the likelihood of the move unfolding by understanding what's going on in the auction process here since a little bit before the cash open. Right? We also have some other confluences in here, buying icebergs. Okay, they're buying even more. Right, so that's a good sign as well. We know that they're accumulating is what it looks like. So we would look for we've got more factors on our side to the breakout to the upside, put it that way. All right, so more likely would be, or the first scenario would be to look for this move upwards here. Now the likelihood has gone down though because of what we just studied in terms of the volume. Right, so we're not looking for like a really strong move. Right, what we're looking for. Right, the bid is still, we still see the bid here, and the reaction to that bid is we still get more buyers in here. So now we just had no buying up here, so that's interesting. And let's just zoom in a little closer here. Yeah, and some selling liquidity in here, but they kind of pulled last minute here, last second. Okay, so we get another rotation. Now, as we're going through this process in here and starting to understand what we're looking for, this is something you can utilize in your trading, is this new checklist that is now free and available to all within Bookmap. Okay, so we just released it, and God, do I have it now? Hold on a minute. Well, if you don't have it, this is how you can do it. Click on your manage add-ons here. Okay, from this link here, okay, configure add-ons, go to your manage add-ons scroll to the bottom. Go here and then look for it in here. If it's not down here available for install, it means that you probably got it in here someplace. And let's take a look. Setups checklist. And there it is. So I have it in here. I just need to go find it now. Okay, and it is right here. Okay, and what I want to show in here is that same process that we kind of just went through. We can look for within Bookmap. And this will help you, guide you through your selection of a better trade. Okay, by understanding what you're looking for and then checking it and grading it, just like we just did. All right, and this is what is going to make a really nice difference in here. So you're looking for it, but then the question is up here, you're looking for this move higher. The question is, is this strong enough for risking money on? And the answer would be no, because we're looking for it. Yeah, that's more likely, but it's not the greatest setup here. Okay, and then we just noted that selling coming in here when we didn't want to see that. We wanted to see buyers up here. So sellers have taken it down to the bottom of this range and then some. Okay. So maybe we'll get one more move here by the sell side into this liquidity down here at 67 and 66.5. Okay, since this one did not unfold, sellers coming in, selling pressure, and they're below the range here. But the question is, can they start to sell here again for this kind of second leg? So first leg a little back and forth, and now looking for that second leg and move to the low. It's nothing, it's not much, it's just a quick scalp, but something to take a look at. All right, so anyway, I wanted to show you guys this. most of you guys have seen it, are well aware that how to use this tool here. It's very, very simple and straightforward, and you can add your own setups in here and grade them however you like. Okay, you can collapse it. It's always on top. And yeah, so that's the setups checklist. All right, so let's zoom out here, and since it's Monday, let's get our bigger picture perspective on things and where we think price might go. All right, so we're going to kind of veer away from the order flow for a moment here and get our bigger picture. All right, so we have our daily over here. Close that checklist. Our daily here, and we can see the strong sell-off. Well, up into just about 4,600, and then the strong sell-off to the low of Friday. Okay, so that's what that's this, now this is the daily chart. Okay. All right, so pretty strong move here. We see the gap as well from the overnight session here in the cash open. We've gapped down, and let's see where price might go based on the order flow within these candles. And we're going to assume the order flow. It is actually the same process. It is a fractal market. So these smaller moves that we're looking for in here, we're also looking for exactly the same things on higher time frames. It's really the same thing. It is all an auction. It's just different time frames in here and more complexity within these different auctions. All right. So let's go through our reading in here. So interesting little area that we're in right now. Like we said, this is kind of the swing from Friday, December 1st. And if we look at it here, well, it makes sense that we're getting a bit of a slowdown right now into these wicks here on the hourly. You can see the wicks here on the 15-minute chart as well. Okay, so what's going on in here? Well, this is where we found a lot of buyers on Friday. You can see right in here when the cash open started. It closed the gap pretty much immediately. It pulled back, and then it followed through to the upside here. And now it's gapped down into this area where we found those buyers on Friday. So the question is, are we going to find enough sellers to trade through this area here? You can see the reaction so far that this is where we found maybe some buyers covering in the at the open after maybe holding here, or from overnight or over weekend. And then are we going to find new sellers engage in here, or are we going to find new buyers engage in here and try to fill the gap? Right now, well, to me, just reading the momentum in here is we're looking for a retest back down to these lows here, okay? And see if we can even get more selling to try to break it into these areas down here on the 15-minute chart. All right, so that would be scenario one, because we already have this momentum move to the downside and looking for continuation of that move. So that's what we'll look for now in the order flow. Now, that said, we will also look for the opposite. Well, we found some buyers on this little candle right here. We did not come close to filling the gap. Just I don't even know what percent, maybe not even 25% filling it. So looking again for sellers and looking for continuation. All right, so are we getting that? Okay, so we got our move down here. We were looking for those potential buyers up in here. We got sellers instead. We left off here. We were looking for the move into this liquidity. That is already unfolded. Still looking good, though, to the downside. Looking for 64 now. Look at the selling coming in. Look at the order flow here on the offer, and looking for the target to be this liquidity here at 64. And we already have some selling coming in, and looking for that continuation. Okay, we don't have any icebergs down here, which is kind of interesting. Okay, no continuation yet, just the top of the range here. Let's see, there was a question on Friday. I forget who it was, Catty, I think, about range bound trading. So let's cover a little bit of that today. So when we're looking for a move to unfold, we're looking at the condition in the auction, right? So we're looking for where there's more buyers and sellers and reactions to liquidity and context, understanding that context. So in range bound trading, we don't really have that answer. We don't know what the context is. It's kind of hard to determine. And that can set up nice range bound trading. We don't really know, right? So like right now, for example, there's buyers that came in here. There's sellers that brought it right back down to the bottom of the range. All right, so what if we get more buyers that curl in right here? Okay, we would look for the move back up to top of the range. So that would be more of a range bound trade. Okay, so we do have, we're not seeing that. We're seeing sellers down here. Okay, and we also have this downtrend here. Okay, and we just made a lower low in here, slightly lower low. Okay, selling starting to mount. Offer looks pretty good. Come on, sellers, you should be able to break it here. We've got some selling down here already. We've got a potential trap here. So we've got a few pieces here looking for the breakdown. Not real high probability though. Okay, there's a move. Okay, now let's look for, now we got our move to the downside. Let's look for the opposite though, because if the selling did pick up in here, that's good. That's good to see. But let's see if we can actually potentially get some buyers back up around this 64 to reach back up in here because of the back and forth nature in here, right? We're not getting it whatsoever. The sellers are coming in pretty hard here. Yeah, so our first scenario is playing out pretty nicely here. Down into the liquidity down here at 60 now is what we're kind of looking for, 61 and 60. But let's look at our bigger picture here again. Okay, so we have our wicks down in here. Okay, we were looking for that potential move, right, on that 15-minute chart to retest the low here. We've gotten it already. And now we want to determine again, is there still a lot of selling in here? Okay, or do we start to see some covering due to some of the buying that came in here from previous days? Okay, some covering by sellers. Let's take a look. No, nothing so far. So sellers still have a move here. Okay, there goes 60 and below, 59. Still looking good. All right, now pay attention here. This is going to get interesting. Note the high liquidity here on the offer at a lower area. That's bearish, but look what happened here. Buyers took them on here and now here. So we are finding buyers now, right? We're seeing kind of a flip here in order flow. Okay, so now they're on the bid here at this 59.5 and 59. Okay, so it looks like a little back and forth here for the moment. Now see this high liquidity in here. Let's see if buyers take them on. Look at the bid. Now it's this context again. We want to understand they're trading into the bid. Okay, the offer is getting aggressive here as well, pushing it. Let's see, do we find any buyers in here? On buyers, let's see if you come in. Take these guys on. There we go, a little bit, not much though. A little bit more buyers. Okay, so it's getting interesting here. Not looking for a reversal, but it's getting interesting. We're finding some buyers nibbling in these areas here and here. And are we making lower lows? Yes. Are we making deeper lower lows or more shallow lower lows? It's still pretty deep so far. So, you know, sellers still moving the market here. Morning, Richie. Volume pressure imbalance. Yeah, we can take a look at that. I have no idea what the TTW indicator is. Okay, the market, I can tell you about market pulse though, and exactly what that is. And then the volume pressure. Look at this larger player coming in and skewing this auction here. Okay, pushing to the downside, and we're still finding some sellers here, right? We're reading this context in here. Buying came in and nibbled a little bit, but not a whole lot, right? These areas in here, but we noted it. Okay, so sellers still moving this market. Okay, now look at this in here. Now see how this is where we start to read like absorption on the way down, and this is how we can start to look for a potential reversal to unfold here. Okay, it's still trending, there's no question. All right, but this is where we can kind of look for the potential for a reversal. We're still looking sell side here. Okay, but what we're looking at now is let's just look at some of these moves to the downside. Okay, so we had this, we have a steep move. Okay, and see how it's kind of curling here. It's making lower lows still. It's still trending down. It's still making lower highs, and it's still trending down. Okay, however, we're reading the order book in here as well. Are they getting filled on the bid? A little bit, not much. They're mostly on the offer here now. Okay, are we finding buyers? Well, we found buyers in these little pockets in here taking on that high liquidity. That's pretty interesting. So we know that there's some buying interest in here, but sellers still moving the market. Okay, now watch what happens in here for a potential reversal. Watch the buyers come in hard. Okay, we're looking for that scenario here. Okay, big buying in here, and they will immediately test this liquidity up here. Right, there they go. They're doing it. Now it's not the most buying here, but you know, we see the move up here, and it just kind of nibbled on this lower rung here of these 4 levels in here, and now we're seeing a bit of a pullback. Are we going to get more buyers in here? And let's see. Okay, so we're kind of shifting from this downtrend into maybe sideways trend now. We just made a higher high. We have not made a higher low yet. right? So we're not really looking for a reversal yet. Okay, we're starting to read the relative volume in here on the buy side versus the sell side. We're reading the order book and that appetite by the aggressors to take on this liquidity in here. Reversals take a while. Okay, more buying pressure coming in. Now, these guys just pulled all their liquidity. Now, that was a larger player. We knew that from the large lot tracker. Hey, look what they did. Pulled it across on 1, 2, 3, 4. Their fifth level here actually got filled. And then on the bid down here, they also pulled at the same time. Okay, now we're looking for buyers up here at 58 3/4. Look at the bid, starting to show some interest. If we get our buyers in here, I'm looking for actually a pretty strong move by the buy side, and a move probably back up into this little pocket up here to begin with, maybe 61 or so, maybe a little bit higher, 62. Maybe we can come all the way back up here to about 60, 65 and a half or so. Right. So, but we have to see that those strong buyers come in. Okay. If we don't, it's not on. Okay? And we will note the distinction in here. This is one thing to look for in your setup, and I encourage you to use a setups checklist. Make your own checklist and come in here and if you're looking for a reversal, I will have actually a video for you for reversals very soon, and then a checklist here as well for reversals, right? So you can utilize that. Let me show you where that is so that you guys understand. What you can do is come into bookmap.com, click on the more button here, and then go to, oops, hold on. Click on the more button and go to the learning center here, and then strategies and setups here. Go here, and then we have a continuation pattern here. Now we call it a flag pattern, but just what's important is looking for the momentum and continuation of momentum. We just decided to focus on a flag pattern. We will have a reversal pattern in here shortly, and a range bound pattern as well. Okay, so I missed it trying to cover the pattern in here. Do you guys see the distinction I'm talking about? Look at that buying now. Okay, we were looking for it here. Okay, and we were looking for, well, maybe the move would happen here and take on that liquidity. It didn't. It chopped again. It came back down, retested the low here, and now we found the buyers. Pretty strong move here, or pretty strong buying, and we've come up and retested this little swing here, okay, almost to our 61 that we talked about as the first pullback. Okay, now let's take a look. So we got a strong move here. How many sellers have come in here? Not too many. Yeah, they're able to retrace all the way back down to where these buyers came in. Okay, right here, this little pocket. Actually, they came in a little bit lower here. Swept the book. Okay, so now Rob, actually let me go further into analysis in here on a flag pattern or a continuation pattern, a momentum pattern, what we're looking for. So we have pretty good momentum here, but the pullback has been strong. So the pullback being strong, we got to have, again, another strong momentum and volume here by the buy side. Now you can see it's failing right now, right? But we still may come up here and find buyers. We'll see. But this is what I want to cover, though, is this strong move and this pullback in here. You were talking about flag patterns in some of your content and some of your videos. Okay, you can use the same flag pattern here, okay, in this checklist, which is the default file, right? But we're going to look at it a little differently, though. Okay, we're going to look at it by understanding a strong move, and then by the pullback, and then looking for again a strong move. So this will keep us in check with our risk management. Okay, this is actually, this one is off right now unless we get buyers back up here, and then we can look for it. And I would look for them now at this 57 3/4. All right, and if we do get it, then I would look for a move probably back up to about the 60 area here. Okay, so here they come. Now, do we still see them? How's the order book look? See on the offer here, not good, not quite ready yet. Not enough buyers up in here, and the order book is not underneath here. It's on the other side. They're offering here, so supply up here. And we want to see less supply and more demand. My point is, on these strong moves like this, your bull flag or your bear flag, you get more shallow pullback, a minor pullback, and then you're looking for that major strong impulse move. Okay, so the same applies here. We can kind of gauge this. How strong is this? And then look at this pullback now, and how strong is that? It's not bad. I mean, there's some volume in here, in this little area in here on that sell side. So this is not, it's too bad. I would have liked this had to stop right around here, but it's gone down below it. We'll go through it another time, but like we're still kind of, let's suppose the move came down to about here and it stopped. Well, are we really anticipating now with such a strong pullback that we're going to get this big move to the upside? No, we're not. Okay, so you can adjust your risk and you look for maybe a move back up to here if you find the strong volume come in here. Okay, right? The order book would also, we want that on our side. We want to see that. Whoops. We want to see that. 1 minute. We want to see the order book on our side here. Liquidity getting filled maybe, or exhaustion on the sell side, and then we're looking for our buyers to come back in. Okay, but our anticipation of this move is not a full like move above here. It's more up to the top of the range. Okay, does that make sense? So instead of looking for this kind of, let me clear the drawings here. Instead of looking for this kind of move in a flag type of pattern, like your kind of minor pullback, and then another really strong move equal to this one here. Well, you wouldn't get that. Instead, you get this kind of move, and then maybe you're getting something like this, right? And then if this is strong volume, though, you can look for it, okay, but maybe up into these areas here only, maybe up to the top of the range as well, all right? So that's it. And actually, this is starting to do that right now. It's a little bit weird of a pattern here. It's the same as this here. The only difference is that it actually made a lower low here, right? Does that make sense? Guys, it's really simple stuff. Just understanding and expectations of moves in here based on the order flow in the transactions. Morning, Stan. T46, can you use IQ feed for your data with Bookmap? Absolutely. It depends, like if you're trading futures, I would recommend that you try Rhythmic, because you can get the MBO data and it's basically the same price. Morning, Stephen. Oh, that's exactly what Alois is telling you here. Yep. IQ feed is not MBO. Does not offer MBO. Okay, I mean, here I can connect to it, um, and try to run stops and icebergs off it. Maybe this is you want to bet me $1 million? Okay, well, I'm not going to take that bet. Um, but let's take a look here. I guess maybe we haven't. Maybe it's a new thing. I don't know. We have the stops and icebergs in the MBO package that we offer. So oh, is Z23 right? And maybe it doesn't. I know it didn't work before. Maybe it does now. Right? So yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't connect to it. MBO. Yeah. Well, here's the warning that we have. Please reach out to support though at Bookmap, and I'll also let the dev team know that you're saying it's supporting MBO data now. I guess we don't offer it. Yeah, I know. I know you didn't say that. Well, all I know is like we would have offered it if they did have it earlier, and no one did. Maybe they do now. Yeah, they have full depth. They have full depth. They just don't. They're not disseminating the MBO data. Previously, maybe they are now. Okay, so here we go. Maybe this is more of the a scenario here. See the strong move and the strong pullback, right? So we still are looking for buyers to come back and move, and they kind of already did back up to here. We have another move back down now, but we'd still look for buyers to come in here, okay, up here. We want to see more demand here on the offer underneath, and we also want to see maybe that liquidity pulling up here. Okay, there's not a whole lot of liquidity anyway, but we want to see very little buy or selling here, and we want to see big buying here. Okay, guys, we covered. I mean, we've covered all of this for years, but it's actually really simple stuff. It's not rocket science whatsoever. It's understanding the transactions in the context of it and the order flow. Here come our buyers, right? So what are we looking for? The swing first, the next swing, but we're also looking at liquidity levels. Okay, so liquidity up here at 60 and a half, also this kind of 59 and 3/4. Okay, so all we've done is come up to the top of this little range. Okay, and do we have a lot of buyers coming in here? No, we don't. Right? They better pick it up here. If they don't pick it up here, there's more sellers in here, right? So if they don't pick it up here, in which they're starting to, okay, then we'd look for that continuation or retest some of these upper areas here. Okay, you spoke to Nick at support. He had no clue. All right. Yeah, I'll ask the developers. Yeah, as far as I know, yeah, they've offered full depth for a long time, but CME MBO data, they did not. Otherwise, we would have written for it, written the code for it. Okay, but that was years ago, so maybe that has changed. All right, enough on that topic. Let me get to some of the questions over here in YouTube. Not many questions. Yeah, Rich, I'm so sorry. Like, Richie, you had asked about the order book and volume indicator. and the pressure. Guys, still looking for it, so still finding buyers, right? So we're still looking for it. You know, back to the swing here, and this liquidity up in here. Right? So again, like based off of the momentum and that strong move here, you know, we based off of the retracement here as well, we're not looking for the strongest move back up here, right? But we are looking for it, right? So and it is doing it. So it's just like those drawings we just I just canceled. Maybe I'll use the pen tool. This will be a little quicker. So let me just repeat this again, and then I'll take a look at some of the requests by Richie there. Okay. All right. So you know, our flag pattern from that learning center, again, it's real straightforward here. In fact, you know, we've got it here as a diagram first, and I encourage you, go check this out, because we go through it very simply here by understanding the order flow in diagram form here in the schematic, basically, and what it looks like. What are we looking for? The next video here, we go through what that looks like in Bookmap. Okay, identifying trap traders, identifying strong moves, and starting to understand the pullbacks on less volume, low volume pullbacks, followed by strong move, etc. The third video in here is very important. This is execution. Okay, this is how to use and go through the checklist here. And this checklist is the same that is here in this setups checklist add-on, which is free. So go download it. Or no, I'm sorry, just go to here, and you can go through manage add-ons and then add it in here. Right, and that's it. So anyway, I encourage you to check that out. What I'm going over is a variation and understanding like this move here, okay, and then if there's a strong pullback, right, we're not really looking for the strong move. It might take a little while, but we're still looking for it, okay, to the upside here, or at least up to here, okay. Anyway, the flag pattern is very different because it is it's understanding the order flow in it that makes the difference. Okay, in the flag, you're looking for this really strong move with really strong volume on it, and you're not looking for a deep pullback in here. Looking for a shallow one, less than 50%, right? So it's not even going 50%. And then you're looking for the order flow in here. You're looking for the bid to be pretty strong, bidding up, or exhaustion by sell side. And then you're looking for the buyers to start to curl in here and lift that. And then we can look for the strong move to the upside, right? Which is kind of similar in essence to what we're just kind of taking this very clear flag pattern, and we're kind of like tilting it to the right and skewing it a little bit, and then looking at it a little bit more this way, as you know, since it pulled back pretty strong, we might get something like that, okay, and the move is not going to be as strong. All right, I think I made the point. Yeah, and you know, these things, yeah, it'd be great if the market was always really super clear. It's not. And you know, many things can happen in here. Like, how strong of a move is this? Well, it's not that strong. This one's way better over here. However, you know, and we made a lower low and a lower high in here. But we're kind of still, you know, waiting and watching. Are we going to get this reversal or not? And we broke the high here, and we didn't break it here. So it's really kind of convoluted in here right now. But the point with the reading these strong moves in here, like, it's again about the relative volume within this range in here. How strong is it? uh, and what can happen in some of these areas here, like right now, for example, look at the strong selling coming in. Okay, but right into high liquidity here. So someone wanted to buy and they got what they wanted. Okay, they're filled. So now we're going to go through another scenario. Maybe this move is finished. Do we get our strong sellers? Yeah, starting to come in. Okay, sellers. Now I'm looking for sellers to move this market away from then this whole area here. Okay, looking for a strong move on the sell side and continuation to the downside now. So 55 liquidity next stop. And then I think we've got enough selling not only to trade 55, but trade away from it. Okay. And again, we want to understand the strong move in here. Okay. Here's why. Because look at this profile in here. And it basically means all of this sideways action in here is like a magnet. This is where price has accepted, and we need it to kind of disassociate with this value area in here, and that typically happens with strong volume moving it away from that area. Okay, so that's what we need to see in order to move away from this very attractive price level here around 58. Again, look at the icebergs coming in, quite a few. So icebergs have been buying quite a bit. In fact, this is the biggest iceberg reading we've seen, okay, at this 55 level. Now let's take a look though. Let's go back to our higher time frame. Take a look. Where are we here? Okay, 55. You know, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I would look for more of a move back down into this swing in here. You know, so we're talking about the figure here, 45.50 at that point. Okay, we still have the momentum move. We're still looking for sellers, and we're looking for the move into here. And now we're starting to see it. Okay, the selling is starting to come in. There's no T46. There's no sort of business deal that we have with Rhythmic whatsoever. There's nothing going on there at all. We just like their data, and our platform requires really high quality data. DX feed is high quality as well, and that's why we connect to them, and for stocks and for futures, and we like their data. The thing with the Rhythmic though is it offered the MBO, okay? And maybe DX feed offers it now too. Like I said, we're not trying to push it though. We're not making any money out of it whatsoever, right? Just so you know. All right, guys, so we're getting our push still on that sell side. It's gone through that liquidity here at 55. So, you know, we stick with the move here until we see something different. We're still looking for, well, 52 would be kind of the next area down here. And then we've got the figure here at 50. And now it's not going to be as easy as that. We're going to see things along the way. But that's what we're looking for at the moment. Okay, we can see that there's a lot of selling that came in. We noted it in here, and then it's like, wow, bottom of the range. These guys did get filled in here, and then this cluster of selling in here. After all of that talk about this back and forth in here, and this move in here, we're looking for top of the range in here. Well, this is what unfolded, and we weren't looking for a big, huge like move to the upside here. We were looking for 60. Okay, well, what ended up happening was the sellers came in here. Okay, and then it's at that point when we started to see them trade through that in here, we're looking for this move into this 55 level, and we knew the selling was coming in. And then now we're looking at something potentially like this. Okay, we have this kind of structure in here and a move away from it. Okay, so that's what I'd be looking for. Here's our really strong move, and then we're looking for that potential reversal. It started to show us something. It started to slow down, and we got some pieces in here of it, and then the sellers came back in again. All right, let's see what else do we got. Let me get to questions as well. Yeah, here we go. Sorry about that. Okay. In the top right here, Richie, yeah, so these we've had forever. These are imbalance indicators for the order book and for volume. It works off of, well, let's go over the volume one first. It's very, very straightforward. It is just, reading the buyers and sellers in here it's all based on the calculation within the chart range. So if you want to recalculate this or study like an area, then the way you would do that is you can zoom into an area. So we can zoom into this area here precisely. It will put it within the chart range, and we can get our order book and volume imbalances in here, right? And you can see the order book here has an imbalance on the buy side because of this high liquidity in here, and especially in here. Okay, you can see a little bit in here as well, and then right in here, right? So plus 16. So that's pretty big skew, and it's green here. Volume is equal. It's 0, right? So not getting much out of volume there. Right, so that's what, and it's the same calculation. Now the one difference here in the order book is the same calculation as volume, except that it's doing it for multiple levels because it's for the order. Okay, and there's different you can input values for how much order book you want to read there. Yeah, so the market pulse in terms of the volume pressure, let's take a look at it here. So you were asking about volume pressure imbalance or volume pressure. Let's look at the imbalance and that one, and we'll look at volume pressure imbalance as well here, and we'll just compare and contrast the two. And what are they doing in here? Oh, I'm sorry, this is the same. Let me go back. Just look at volume pressure. Oh, all right. So, and we've got them in the subchart here as well. All right. So you guys in YouTube can hear it. Is starting to hit here on the sell side. Now, see how we're getting a sell side? This is where there's a distinction between the two. The sell side is hitting here, but the imbalance one is not, because it's buy plus sell here, or buy minus sell, I should say. Because they're kind of equal in here, it's at almost 0, right? But we just heard it hitting here on the sell side in volume pressure. Make sense? Okay, because here it's because of there was sellers in here. There was both buyers and sellers. Okay? So that's the distinction between. Now look at the selling coming in at the moment, and the imbalance is also was hitting and going over the threshold of 70% here. Right, so it's up to you which one you like. In terms of the subchart, you can look at it here. So this is the volume pressure imbalance, this one. Okay, it's just one line, and we're getting an extreme reading here. Okay, or they just kind of just passed. Okay, and we see extreme readings all the way through here. And now let's deselect that one and reselect the buying and selling imbalances in here. And they work independently, right? So we see the volume pressure, or we see volume pressure reading here. We don't see it on the buy side. Okay, there was a little bit in here actually, up in here. All right, so yeah, we had our little pullback in here. And this is, there's so many different ways to kind of use these tools. Very, very simply though, you can kind of look for maybe if you get a little bit of volume pressure on the buy side in here, but we're sell side right now. I mean, sell side is dominating. So we're looking now for another strong reading on the sell side. And these areas are rather uncanny. How you can match these up here where you'll see it kind of pull back actually after these strong readings. It's working like a charm. It's pretty amazing indicator. So it's kind of the opposite of what you would think. You think that, well, sellers are certainly in control. Here's our selling coming in. They're going to, reach 52 in no time whatsoever. And it's not true. It's actually, you get that extreme reading, and it makes sense. I mean, in terms of like the market needs to kind of take a break after some strong selling, and then we get these pullbacks in here. Okay, now are we getting a reversal potentially? You can see like we had a strong reading here on the volume pressure before, and we're starting to get it now here, right? I would say no. I would look for actually this to be top of the range. I'm not seeing strong buying yet, so this would be like a way to study this, not a trade recommendation, is to trade it back down to the bottom of the range here and hold it, or either take some off here, right? So you're selling it at the top of the range. You're holding though, maybe sell and exit out one position at the bottom of the range, but try to hold it for a continuation of the trend, right? So different ways of using this tool as also for management. Okay, so let's see if we should. Well, we already had a little bit of sell reading here, but we should really hear it pick up now. Okay, on the sell side, it is in the imbalance. Okay, but it's not in sellers here, which is kind of odd. Anyway, these are really great tools. I really like them. Just note that this is, again, a confluence to be used with the order flow. This is not a red light, green light type of thing. Okay? You want to understand the auction and the context in here. But then if you do understand that, and you know exactly how you want to use this tool, you can really get some great fills. Okay, for example, there's in our Bookmap Academy, a few of the users, in particular, Crash F16 has been using this tool a lot. In fact, we're going to have a webinar with him on Thursday, and he's going to go over how he uses this tool. So look for it in the special events. I can show you where that is. If you go to the Learning Center again, just go to the home page here, Learning, and then you can scroll down, or you can click on Join Free Events here, and you'll see all our streamers in here, but then our events calendar, which we just updated. Here's the Pro Trader webinar with Crash F16 at 9 a.m. on Thursday. All right, so he's going to go through. You can check out his content in our Discord. Okay, and he's going to go over how he uses this market pulse tool extremely effectively. All right, let's see what else is going on in here. Let's see, Matt, bullish global equity. See the back and forth right now. This is why we were saying, like, you know, take some off down here. Then you're going to be stopped out at break even here on the way back up. All right, Matt. So you give me some fundamental insights. Yeah, yeah, great. Well, you know, one of the things that's you know, using fundamentals within Bookmap is awesome. It'll tell you about the traders, what they actually think of that fundamental news. You know, sometimes you know, like a CPI, you get a great CPI. Well, it's actually been bad for the markets because it means that the Fed will be raising rates. So, but you'll see it in the auction, right? You'll be able to gauge that. How bad do they think it is? And look for, you know, that order flow to tell you. And we went over and covered it in detail weeks ago. It was this on the daily chart in here, and then also the CPI data was in here, I believe. Yeah, it might have been this gap there. I think there was a big gap in here, and we're like, this move is done. It's going to probably go a little bit higher above into these swings up in here. But that CPI data, it gapped up and it just went a little bit higher for the day. This was two fundamental events in here that made a huge difference. One was FOMC and the other was non-farm. Okay, both, as you can see, extremely bullish, which kicked off this whole move to the upside, followed by good CPI and some other good data in here as well. Okay, so you know, using that together with order flow is going to give you a real nice edge. Or you're not seeing much good economically. Okay, so you're adding to that conversation. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been following UK data. It's a little more complex with the interest rates, the euro as well, compared to the US. We've seen the euro dollar though bounce, right? I think it's at 110 or something right now, 111. All right, guys. Well, we have a potential squeeze about right around in here. It's interesting. I mean, like, you know, look, we got to follow the order flow. Here's the potential squeeze that we're looking at. Where are the sellers in here that are going to get squeezed? Okay. See the buyers being able to pull it away. And now, can they continue to pull away though? Is the question. Okay. And I don't see them up here. Right. So the opposite scenario is also potentially true here. It's these buyers in here that are going to feel the squeeze. One or the other is going to happen. Okay, these buyers in these areas in here are going to get squeezed. Now, we would look for, if that squeeze is going to unfold, the sellers have to pick it up right here. Okay, at this 55 and 55 even. Okay, so if we do see that scenario, then we'd look for a pretty nice move to the downside followed by a big stop run. Okay, if we get our buyers back up in here, it's the opposite. The seller is going to get squeezed and we'll probably see them move back up into our 59 level. Yeah, Rob, this is excellent. I mean, you're using your POC to kind of outline the market, and starting to understand like a market structure based off of your POC. Yeah, whatever works, Rob, for you. You know, you talk about the migration, the moving POC. Yeah, I mean, when the when we have all of this chop here starting to add up, it becomes the POC. Okay, whereas previously was up here, and previously was up here before. Okay, so we're having these strong moves, and then it chops, and then we're getting a strong move, then it chops, right? That's what we're seeing. Now, question is like, and let's just use this as a kind of a market structure guide here. Is understanding the order flow for the potential move back to POC or the move away from it. Okay, and it's going to happen here. Okay, we're looking for our sellers right in here, right now. Move it away. Here we go. All right, sellers, looking for you to continue now. I want to see them break this level at 53 3/4 and then trade into 52 and then 50. Okay, now POC is going to stay up here for a while until it starts to chop and build volume down below. Okay, so and this is one of the things that volume profile traders, or just profile traders in general, trending days, you look for these like exactly like well, it's not exactly like this because it's not quite doing it. It's more of like a kind of double distribution, but there's this up here as well. But you see these little areas in here. This is where you'll find your strong moves, moving it away from the chop, and then you get this, and then you'll get another like very low volume area, and then it starts to chop and build another profile. Okay, so trending days, that's how you get your trending day profile. None of this is new. I know you guys know all this. But understanding the order flow in it is where you're going to get the edge. Okay, this is just very simply aggregating it on the horizontal. That's it. All right, sellers, let's see you pick it up here. Okay, so everything, now we never know, right? Now let's just add up the pieces though, like from our setups checklist here. Well, we see the buying up in here. We're looking for them to be squeezed. No buying here. Selling down here. Looking for sellers now to drop it. Okay, because we've got selling down here. It's been auctioning down here. There were sellers previously. Looking for them. They're selling again here. Okay, now that would be the most likely scenario. The problem here is what if, and we never know, but all of a sudden buyers come in and sweep it away from here, and we get lots of buyers up in here. Okay, that means that this is now the trap. Okay, and that's what we need to look out for. Okay, we don't know, and you can see that's starting to unfold right now, right? So this is what we have to prepare for, that this might happen. Okay, now, are there enough buyers at this top edge to come back into the point of control here? Okay, your most traded level. Anyway, Rob, I like that leaning on market structure is really important. Okay, and whatever here comes our squeeze now, right? So we were looking for the squeeze to the downside. It's looking pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. And then we outline this scenario, and now this is the one that's unfolding. Okay, so back to most traded level where it broke from right here. This is a good place to take some potential profit. Okay, I'm still wondering if there's going to be enough buying pressure to make this squeeze harder and try to reach our 60 level. and maybe even higher. And so far, so good. We're seeing that. Yeah, still, come on, buyers. Let's see the squeeze more. Look for, there's going to be a real nice stop run up above in these areas. Okay, and fill in maybe some of these little low volume nodes as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not personally like this structure of VPOC for me is, I like it. I don't have anything against it. I just don't find it quite as um, insightful as just understanding the market structure based on the price action. And then within that price action, you're looking at the volume, you're looking at the book. I find that is more telling. Right? Because it's already traded back to your POC and you're in a downtrend. Would you be shorting it up here? No. No. I mean, this would be, maybe you'd be taking some profit up here for sure, but you're not shorting it, right? Because you're still looking for the squeeze because of based off of the order flow and the transactions down here, the scenarios that we outlined, right? So, then understanding this structure is good, but you're looking for more out of it here due to the order flow. Germany was awful, Floyd. Okay. Yeah, that's, so I guess that they will well, yeah, I didn't check the data from Europe, but they're still kind of stuck where the U.S. is advancing. They're not talking about lowering rates, but they're not really talking about raising rates. Another interesting thing to see here. Let's see if we can and see it, and not so much the volume pressure, but the volume pressure imbalance. You can see reversals take place in here. Is rather interesting. See if we get that a little bit. Not really. Look at all the selling in here. Selling. These little highlights up in here. A little bit of buying on retracements, and then that's it. But now look at this. Buying in here, followed by three little highs in here with the buying, and now no selling down here hit, right? So we can see the flow change even in the volume pressure starting to kind of change over. So yeah, we're still looking then for the squeeze to unfold here. Okay, now it just hit a little bit here on the buy side. All right, well, let's look at this. We got a flag pattern here in front of us. Let's take a look here. We are already identifying, I'm going to close this one. We are already identifying the trap traders within this range in here. And let's go through it again. We have sellers in here. Okay, we're already above these sellers, and here, and here, and here. Especially these look really good. There's some a little bit in here as well. So we have a pretty strong move. Relative volume is not the greatest here on the buy side, but the move is strong, and we're just missing it here, guys. But we're looking for this to unfold to the upside here as the second leg here, right? That's the trying to look for this flag pattern to complete here. Now this relative volume in here is not the greatest. Like, we'd like to see these kinds of bars, these kinds of dots here through this move here, that it's moving away from all of this down here, and we're not really quite getting that. Nice strong move. Look at the angle. That's also good. We're also looking at the liquidity in here on the bid. They're in here up at a higher level, and we don't see much of a pullback yet. It has been less than 50%. So we've got some good pieces in here. Okay, the one lacking piece here is that relative volume. Right in this area in here is not so strong. Okay, so there could be a deeper pullback due to that, right? So would you be buying in here? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd really have to see something really strong come in. Okay, else we'd look for maybe a pullback to one of these little pockets in here. Right, so we're just by going through this checklist, we can start to filter out some of these trades, some of these ideas, and look for something that is just higher probability. Okay, so we went through identify the trap traders. That looked pretty good. We'll give it an 8. Here, let's just go through the process. Steep move, we had that. Okay, we didn't have the strong relative volume though. Maybe a 6 or a 7. Measured move up into high liquidity. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, it came up into that area there. An absorption up there. That's good. And strong volume all the way through, which is good. Just we wanted to see stronger volume. And I give that one an 8. Minor pullback so far. Pretty good. On low volume, this is where it gets a little dicey. Look at this volume compared to this volume over here. Okay, so not the greatest. Maybe a 6, 5 or a 6. And then now we're looking for our entry, and now our entry would be here. Yeah, looks good. They're coming in. Yeah, it fits it. Now, what are we looking for? Now we're looking for a move back up to a measured move, basically. Now, how good is this though? And then how good is this whole pattern in here? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just this relative volume was not as great. It's coming in better now, right? So maybe up into about 62 would be the first stop. Okay, and this is how you can start to kind of measure your trades and manage your risk. Okay, so yeah, not bad. Maybe up here 62 and take a little profit out of that. Now we saw this in real time, right? Not a trade recommendation, but it's going through and reading this order flow for the potential move here. And we started to see it come in here, curling in here. We had this higher liquidity in here. We thought maybe the pullback would be a little deeper. Okay, and then we had to see that buying coming in. We did see it. Okay, and we did get the move here. And now we weren't looking for the greatest move in here. Okay, so it didn't even trade to 62. Okay, so it came just shy of it. Okay, so how do you manage that now? Well, stop to break even and you're out. Break even plus one, you gave it a shot, that's it. Okay? If you were waiting for 62, there's a few different ways to manage this. You could have front ran it here. You might have gotten filled here at 61 3/4. Might have. And if you didn't, like it didn't move. It didn't do the move. Okay, that's what you're looking for though. Okay, so somewhere around in here we're talking about getting in. Let's just call it 59. Okay, up to like 62. So it's just 3 points. But we would have been in a little bit earlier, to be honest. Another thing that kind of adds to, if we look at this, the pullback move, low volume, and then bidding liquidity in here, you can kind of look for like a mini setup in here. What I mean by that is you're looking now for these sellers in here to be trapped, right? Because they're trading into that high liquidity and you're looking for these buyers to pull it away pretty quickly. Okay, so it's kind of similar to this move in here. You got to look for the trap and then the pull away, and then another smaller trap in here and then the pull away. All right, hope that helps. All right, guys, anything in particular you'd like to go over? I just want to review one thing. And guys, if you like this, please hit the like button. That helps us. And I just wanted to go over some of the previous webinars in here so that you can see if you're interested in this kind of order flow. This is what I want to cover. Is here on Friday we went over momentum trading and first principles of market mechanics. So understanding the basic market mechanics and how the market moves with first principles, and then looking for momentum moves. And then there was another one in here that was first principles and trading market mechanics. So this is kind of a bigger picture move here. Oh, you liked it last Friday? Yeah, thanks, Stephen. I would suggest, if you're interested in what we're covering today, these go into more depth, so it will give you a good foundation. Moreover, you can go to our learning center here, and then the market mechanics course. You can click on this and you go to the first one here, basic market mechanics. Is going through the same thing. It's just you'll also see it in diagram form in that educational course, right? All right, guys. Well, anyway, let's wrap it up. Thanks everybody for coming, and we will catch up tomorrow morning. And let me know if there's anything in particular you want to cover. We'll be happy to go through it. And until then, yeah, good trading, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yep, take care.